Hi, my name is Christina, and my topic is with regards to restricting diet. I was mostly looking to answer the question of how do parents influence their children's future relationship with food. In my research, I was able to reach the conclusion that to safely help a child develop a healthy relationship with food, parents should limit the pressures they place regarding food in the home. Rather, they should focus on modeling good practices so that the child can follow in their footsteps. I came across two key studies that really drove this point home. The first is a study performed in Belgium that looked to see if there's any association between parenting styles and feeding habits with regards to the child's fruit and vegetable intake. Parents completed a questionnaire regarding these things. The study established that there are two main types of parenting styles: parent centered and child centered. A parent centered style involves when the parent provides warnings to the child and is physically struggling to feed the child. This also looks like when the parent has to tell the child to eat what is on the plate. This contrasts with the child centered style, which uses reasoning and praising while the child is eating. It is definitely more focused on getting the child to like the food. It involves the parent saying positive things about the food that the child is eating. Basically, the study found that children eat more fruits and vegetables when the parent models the same behavior and employs more child centered practices. Parents who utilize parent centered practices are associated with children consuming lower amounts of fruits and vegetables. These findings are supported by the results of a 2011 longitudinal study performed in Australia. Again, mothers completed a questionnaire, but this time when their child was 1 year old and then again at 2 years old. The mothers were asked if they restrict their child's eating or pressure their child to eat, and they were also asked about the food available in the home. The study found that mothers pressuring their child to eat is associated with the child eating less fruits and vegetables at 2 years old, whereas mothers who model healthy eating behavior is associated with the child eating more fruits and vegetables at 2 years old. From these two studies, it can be seen that parents should model healthy eating behaviors and limit pressure and be encouraging by using child-centered practices. It is important for parents to consider the types of feeding practices that they will engage in with their children. Another study performed in 2016 found that parents who push their children to eat or who bribe children or use eating as an emotional coping mechanism for their children, these types of parents all had tended to have a negative association with the knowledge of parenting strategies, so they were less likely to know of various parenting strategies. And all of these types of parents were positively associated with overvaluing ideal body types. This could potentially be harmful in the child's future if the parent were to spread these internalized messages in the household, potentially leading to an eating disorder. It is also important for parents to establish a healthy food relationship during their child's adolescence because these effects can continue to be seen in later years. Another study involved college students completing a questionnaire regarding how they remembered their parents' approach to feeding them and their current eating habits and food cravings. These questionnaires allowed researchers to find that parental restricting practices may lead individuals to experience a longing for food over time. Parental restriction is positively associated with later emotional eating in college students. The big message here is to model healthy eating rather than restrict a child's eating and be overly controlling. The biggest thing parents can do is to lead by example. So, starting early, parents should take a parenting class or nutrition class or even an infant feeding class. The goal here is for parents to learn how to healthily engage in food in order to model this behavior to the child. These classes will allow parents to become educated and build a solid foundation, both parental and nutritional, when it comes to food and getting the child to eat. Parents should also limit the emphasis on personal appearance and food and allow the child to engage in other activities. Parents should watch what they say in regards to dieting and commenting on body types. This can apply to parents, teachers, or really anyone working with children. It is important to avoid making critical comments about weight in front of children. There should be less focus placed on diet and body shape, and more focus placed on body positive messages to the child, and there should be just less fixation on food and body image. And going back to modeling positive behaviors, there should be encouraged participation in healthy activities such as sports. Parents should model and encourage healthy behaviors not just when it comes to food, but also physical activity for the whole family. Constantly complaining about weight and dieting can make it more likely for the child to internalize these messages and engage in unhealthy eating practices. But when parents engage in healthy activities, this will help the child follow suit and do the same. Thank you.